First of all, it's a different culture. That's a big difference. Not a lot of as much celebration as Mexicans do, as big parties or all of that.
The Mexican culture is more interactive and social with people, and I think that the American people are more on their own basis.
Yeah, the food's different and their religion and stuff like that.
Probably like all the pictures on the wall of like saints and like stuff.
Because Mexicans usually decorate their house less fancy than Americans do. Because Americans really like buy more expensive stuff than Mexicans do. So yeah, and their homes are really big and different from our homes. So.
They're a little bit more poor, so it's much smaller and not as, I don't think it's in as much of a protected area as much.
When I went to my friend's house, well, they have like their furniture is really nice. They have a bigger TV, like plasmas and stuff like that.
But most of my friends, like, they're big and like, they're kind of like fancy, I guess you can say. And, like,
they can't talk as well English, that's the only thing, but they're still fun to hang out with and everything. Their families cook really good Mexican food.
How they're celebrated with like the food and different kinds of drink. I've seen more Mexicans dance usually, because I've seen that usually Americans are embarrassed.
They have more stuff too.
Different kinds of arts that I don't see every day in like our house.
Many of the Mexican immigrant families living in West Marin can be traced to one woman.
Hola, buenas tardes, ¿cómo está?
Doña Esther and her husband were among the first Mexican immigrants to work on the ranches of West Marin. Because of her residency status and generosity, she's assisted up to 5,000 others from her region in Jalisco to start a new life in the U.S. She's opened her doors and helped them find work until they get established and move on to other areas such as Petaluma or Santa Rosa.
They came in the very late 60s, settled out here in West Marin, and in the ensuing 40 plus years, tens of thousands of people have come to the San Geronimo Valley and Nicasio and Point Reyes Station. It's almost the third generation now.
For some immigrants, preserving cultural traditions from Mexico is their way to stay connected to their homeland and to be resilient in their new country.
La fiesta empezó porque nos juntábamos, dijimos, vamos venerar a la Virgen de nuestro México, para seguir las tradiciones de México, para que todos los niños vayan empezando a agarrar todas las tradiciones.
Doña Esther also began the celebration for the Virgin of Guadalupe in Nicasio in the 1970s, which grows every year. People come from around the region to pay homage to the Virgin of Guadalupe, as well as to give thanks to Doña Esther. Building and evolving cultural identity in a new country can be challenging and conflicting for many immigrant families, especially with cultural and language divides between the generations. Addressing this challenge lies at the heart of the work of Los Cenzontles. Los Cenzontles Mexican Arts Center is a nonprofit cultural center led by artists and cultural workers in the East Bay. We teach, perform, make CDs and videos to promote cultural awareness to young people and families. Our programming explores Mexican traditions in a contemporary American context, designed to strengthen Mexican-American expression. Our team of artists, all of whom grew up within our neighborhood program, also work to assist other communities develop locally sustainable cultural arts programming. So Marin gives us this opportunity to see the process of the migrants coming to this area to fulfill work that needs to be done, the process of acculturation, the children growing up in this American environment, but also contributing something of who they are to the environment.
We're bicultural, so we understand both cultures, so we can come and help them. This is what we have in common. This is how we can work together. This is how we can get to know each other better and enrich and come up with something that is big and beautiful.
I think it's both that need to be here, because Mexicans are helpful, people from the United States are helpful, and coming together and make something that's really good.
I feel the learning curve for the Anglos is acceptance and to overcome, that fear of the unknown, the fear of the unknown of the Latino community. The majority of the Latinos that live out here work and live on the ranches. They work in rural or agriculture. And so it's definitely more of an isolated group.
How can we integrate these families in the full fabric of our community center, not only coming here to come to the food bank, to get referrals for health need, but to really have those folks be really part of the life of our center and really in a leadership position. We're still in Marin County. It's really expensive to live here. The belief of the community is that people have equal access to everything, that we're really supported, that we're really diverse. But it's kind of one thing to believe that, but to actually go out and do it is a whole different ball game.
We do live in an open, an area where the Anglos are open to a lot. But if we don't hear specifically from the Latinos and their needs, they'll never know.
In order to create sustainable cultural arts programming, you need to build from within the community. Typically, people want someone from the outside to come in and teach their children. But we feel it's very important for people to recognize their own talents and to build leaders from within the community and help them create programming around their own assets. It can be cooking, singing, sewing, carpentry, anything. However, it can often be difficult to get people to see that what they carry with them is valuable.
We're looking for, people who have talent or know something, and we're trying to help them, the community center, to grow their own and have those people that have talent teach the children or even other adults, of what they know. Well, I think after doing this project, what I see is excitement from both, the teachers, the parents, and the children, because the project kind of gave them a little bit of lift. Also, another lens of, how to see their culture and the possibilities of what this project can bring to the school, to the culture, and to their own homes too.
The partnership with Los Cenzontles has been very successful. I think one of the most rich things about it is the consultation on cultural issues and nuances. We, on the staff, perceive that the kids have really changed in their confidence level and in their skills in terms of being able to do the dances. And it's just really exciting to see kids flower. Now we have a dance troupe among the kids in the community, and it's been an incredible source of pride and a way for these kids to share something about themselves. And the community at large, I feel, has really responded to it, and there's been a lot of appreciation and respect that I think the kids are feeling from the Anglos and people from other backgrounds.
The collaborative nature of the relationship, the partnership, is really building the future of the county. That is the only way to do it. We can't sustain a situation where it's just people providing free lunches or free soup to poor folks. What we need to do is invest into the community, into the people, and the workers and their families who are here. Because their families are here, and these children who are here are American children. If we don't invest into these children, then what do we have as a society?
Both.
Are you Mexican or are you American?
Both, I guess. Mexican.
I consider myself more Mexican because I usually listen to more Mexican stuff, and most of my family is also Mexican.
Well, American sometimes, but most of the time Mexican.
Pues yo me considero los dos, porque aquí nací y no puedo decir que soy mexicano, porque no nací allá, pero sí soy, porque soy hijo de mexicanos. Pero también soy de aquí, soy estadounidense porque aquí nací y aquí he crecido.
Mexican.
Both.
I think both.
Mexican.
You're more Mexican. Why do you say that?
Because I consider myself as Mexican because I was born there and I speak Spanish.
But you're speaking to me in English too.
Well, I speak English too.
Mm-hmm.
Mexican.
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 So why do you say Mexican and not American, or not Mexican American?
Because I eat a lot of beans.
The work in West Marin that we're trying to do to reconcile these deep divides between the working immigrants and their children who are working to acculturate and become contributing members of our society, and the people who control most of the resources in that area.
Our country is so enriched by all of those immigrants from all over the world, bringing their cultures and their abilities and their passion. Our families had a chance. Now it's somebody else's turn. Let's give people a chance to, be part of this great nation of immigrants.
So whether they're Latino, Anglo, or whatever, children are the future. And if we don't invest in them, then they're not going to develop the skills that we need to run this country.
What I would like for the Latino kids, when a visitor comes to West Marin, that the Latino welcomes this newcomer in as the host. This is welcome to my home, that this is my place. Because that kind of investment is what makes for a strong community. Side by side with the white children, that they are all custodians or guardians of this beautiful neighborhood, this beautiful area, and that they all are working together to improve it with pride in what they bring.